So Senator Natasha has been suspended by the Senate President Akpabio over what started as a simple seat reallocation explosive. While it all looked like it started with a simple seat reallocation, there were a lot behind the scene, including a bombshell allegation of sexual harassment from the Senate President to Natasha, the senator representing Kogi North Central. So 2 weeks ago, the Nigerian Senate House found itself embroiled in a major controversy. One that started with a simple disagreement over seating arrangements, but has now unraveled into a political earthquake, if we may call it that, with serious implication that looks like silencing the voice of the woman in Nigeria, just as it has continued to happen, especially in African countries. Let's break it all down. What exactly happened? Why does it even matter? And what is the bombshell allegation that followed up? On February 20th, 2025, the Nigerian Senate convened for its plenary session. A similar routine. Senator Natasha representing Kogi Central, walked in majestically and made her way to her usual seat, only to be informed that she has been reassigned to another seat. Now, Senate sitting arrangements aren't random, they are statutorily backed. According to the Senate standing orders, the Senate President has the authority to assign and reallocate seats to reflect party affiliations or other necessary adjustments. However, the abruptness of Natasha's relocation with no prior notice raised eyebrows. Yes, nobody told her anything until she went in for the usual plenary meeting and sat on her seat, only to be asked to stand up and leave her seat immediately. That is descending. That is insulting. She protested the move, arguing that such decisions should be handled with decorum and respect, not like a primary school classroom where students arbitrarily shuffled around. Senator Natasha, already seated, was instructed by Senate President Akpabio that she must move to her new seat or be denied the right to speak. A heated exchange followed up, with Natasha citing Order 10 on privileges, which allows a senator to speak from any position under special circumstances.
I was walking straight to my usual seat, which is the last seat by the door, like at the topmost last seat by the aisle. So, and then I was told by one of the sergeant at arms that, oh ma'am, that is no longer your seat. You are now sitting at the far end there. And I was like, since when? They said, well, that's what the Senate President instructed. I was like, I was in chambers yesterday, which was Wednesday. I've not been notified. Why did you change my seat? What reason? I'm comfortable here. I'm okay here. I wasn't notified to that.
Are you?
Dismissed Senator Natasha, please, you are not recognized to speak from there. That is the order of the Senate.
Sir, Order 10 on privileges. Senator? Order 10 on privileges.
Distinguished Senator Natasha.
Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege, and he shall be prepared to move without notice. A motion declaring that the content of brief.
However, the Senate President, Akpabio, was very firm, with no compliance, no speaking rights. This moment became a flashpoint, escalating beyond just a matter of sitting arrangements. It was a clash of power, authority, and what many viewed as deliberate attempt to undermine a vocal senator, deliberate attempt to silence Natasha, or it's just an attempt to silence her because she is a woman. Mind you, this is not the first time the Senate President Akpabio is trying to silence Natasha.
Take her out of the Senate. Show me the session that allows suspension immediately.
Senator. You have deliberately silenced my voice. You have denied me the right to vote.
This was not the first time at all, and the Senate president had locked horn. There were previous tensions, the Karo market rebuilding disputes. When Senator Ireti Kingibe proposed allocating funds to rebuild the Karo market, which had been devastated by fire, Akpabio opposed the motion. Natasha strongly supported the proposal, arguing that government intervention was necessary to aid struggling traders. Another one was the Waterways Development Bill. Natasha also proposed a bill to develop Nigeria's waterways to ease congestion on the roads. Despite its logic, the Senate overwhelmingly voted it down. During the debate, Natasha attempted to clarify a point but was shut down by the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, who then made a controversial remark, saying this is not a nightclub.
Karo fire outbreak and the need for safer public places, I urge the FCDA and Abuja Municipal Area Council to offer the shops when rebuilt to the victims at a subsidized and affordable rate in order not to disenfranchise the original owners of the shops.
Why do you use government money to build community market, maintain the status, and hand over to the community? So what I'm saying in essence is that the prayer is faulty.
Well, just can I speak to second the prayer as amended by Senator Ireti Kingibe? If your question has to do with the disbursement or the utilization of government funds in rebuilding a community market, sir, the people are the government. The communities are the government. So it's like the people using their money to their own advantage. So I stand to second the motion as amended by Senator Ireti Kingibe, sir.
Okay. Develop our internal road network, internal waterways that would actually unburden the roads and will now even save and avoid accidents. So what I'll propose, sir, is instead of having it named the National Road Transport Council, it should read the National Transport Council of Nigeria, whereby innovations in other means of transportation can be harmonized. Our waterways, our rail networks are all designed independently and not in a coordinated fashion. So we would love a situation whereby every aspect of our transportation is looked into and developed by deploying the most modern, innovative ways. So, sir, that's my submission.
I've heard from those in support and those not in support. Those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay.
Mr. President, we don't want it to be killed. We just want a bit of modification. We don't want the bill killed, but it should be slight modifications, sir. It's a necessary bill.
Distinguished Senator Natasha, in the chamber, you have to be recognized before you speak.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, we are not in a nightclub.
This comment sparked outrage as many perceived it as the sexiest jab. Social media exploded with backlash, questioning whether he would have used the same words if she were an older male senator. Is it because she is a beautiful young woman who is representing her people? Why should she be addressed in such condescending manner? In the days following her outburst, Natasha dropped a shocking revelation. She alleged at the national television Arise TV that Senate President Akpabio had made inappropriate sexual advances towards her. According to her, the incident occurred on December 8, 2023, when she visited his home with her husband. She claimed that while giving her a tour of his house, he held her hand and suggested that they spend quality time together. She quickly withdrew, uncomfortable with his words. Initially, she chose to stay silent about the encounter, as many women would do when faced with such situations. However, she alleged that after rejecting his advances, he began systematically frustrating her legislative efforts, ignoring her motions, denying her opportunities to speak, and ensuring her contributions were overlooked at the Senate.
You mentioned that my rights in the Senate there, I have been dehumanized, I have been maligned and all what. And that outburst, I believe that the seat change was just the straw that broke the camel's back. People do not know what I'm about to say, but I'm going to speak my own truth. And the Senate President is allowed to counter that. It all started on the 8th of December, 2023. And he held my hand and said he wanted to show me around his house. My husband was walking behind us. Just three of us were walking around from room to room. He showed me the beautiful interior. This was done by this, by that, this designer here, he bought this from us. I was like, oh, it's beautiful. And then I noticed that he hastened his pace while still holding my hand. And my husband was behind, still on his phone, but he was catching up whenever he could. And then he got to this particular sitting room and he said, do you like my house? I said, of course, sir. Every room, beautiful, nice interior, quality taste. He said, now that you're a senator, I'm going to create a time for us to come spend quality moments here. You will enjoy it. At that point, I just pulled away and I was like, I don't really understand what exactly that meant.
Natasha likened her experience to what many young women face in universities when male lecturers abuse their power by pressuring students for sexual favors. And if they refuse, they face academic repercussions. She argued that the Senate President was yielding his power in the same way, using his position to punish her for rejecting him outrightly. In a functioning democracy, allegations of sexual misconduct against a high-ranking official would trigger an independent investigation. The public accepts. Number one, an independent inquiry. A formal investigation panel should be set up to examine the allegation. This is in a sane environment. Media scrutiny and public outrage, a case of this magnitude should prompt nationwide discourse. And thirdly, protection for the whistleblower. Natasha should be given the necessary support and security she needed. But in a situation like Nigeria, where there are just corrupt people in governance who are there for the selfish benefits, using public funds to amass wealth, what will happen? Or will this case, like many others, be swept under the rug? Exactly. In the last Senate primary, when Natasha came with other senators in the meeting, Natasha presented her petition, now officially against the Senate President. But guess what? The Senate President was the same person presiding on his own matter. Of course, this was so biased, and at the end of the day, they all agreed to suspend Senator Natasha.
Prayer one, that the Senate do suspend Senator Natasha Akpabio for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023 as amended, for bringing the presiding officer and the entire Nigerian Senate in general to a public opprobrium. Those in support of prayer one say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. I'd put the question. Those in support of prayer one say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. How do you amend a prayer that is unanimous? Prayer two, that for the Senate to consider lifting this suspension or reducing the tenure of the suspension, Senator Natasha Akpabio shall submit a written apology to the Senate before any reconsideration by the Nigerian Senate.
They all agreed to suspend Senator Natasha for 6 months. This, a lot of people and Nigerians who believe in justice believe that is the height of injustice. While she was also suspended, her petition was dismissed on arrival without taking a look into it. This was also seen as the greatest height of injustice. And to crown it up, she was walked out of the Senate House and her office was locked up immediately. In the case of a senator, this is just so disheartening. We believe that this is injustice. Let us know your own opinion in the comments below. And this has also unraveled the injustice, the corruption, and the abuse of position in power that has been on in the Nigerian government system. Don't forget that as you watch this video, this is Ife's Hub and my name is Ifeka. Make sure you like, subscribe and turn on your bell notification to stay updated with all our latest news. Thank you for watching and see you in our next video. Have a nice day.